Hannah Hally, and welcome back to Icons of Influence, the series where we dive deep into the people shaping business, culture, leadership, and power in unexpected ways. Today, we're exploring the story of a woman who built her career on laughter, but whose influence runs far deeper than punchlines. She's a comedian, actress, producer, entrepreneur, author, and unapologetic storyteller who has redefined what power can look like in entertainment. This is the story of Rebel Wilson, a masterclass in authenticity, brand evolution, and strategic reinvention. Her journey shows us how humour can build empires, how personal truth can fuel global influence, and how courage, both on and off screen, can become a business strategy in itself. Rebel Wilson was born in Sydney, Australia in 1980, and like many comedians, her rise began far from the bright lights of Hollywood. After studying law and theatre, she honed her comedic voice in Australia's stand-up and TV scene before taking the leap to Los Angeles, a bold move that would define her career. Her breakout moment came in 2011 with the film Bridesmaids, where a small but memorable role introduced her to global audiences. But it was her portrayal of Fat Amy in the Pitch Perfect franchise that catapulted her into international stardom. That role was more than just comic relief. It was a statement. Wilson's unique comedic style, a mix of fearless self-deprecation, sharp wit, and total confidence, challenged traditional ideas of what a leading woman in Hollywood should look or sound like. What's important here is that Wilson built a brand out of being unapologetically herself. She wasn't trying to fit a mold, she was breaking it. In an industry obsessed with perfection, she leaned into imperfection as power, and audiences loved her for it. By the mid-2010s, Wilson was one of the most bankable comedic stars in Hollywood, leading major films like Isn't It Romantic?, The Hustle, and Senior Year. But more than that, she had become a cultural symbol, representing confidence, authenticity, and self-acceptance on a global stage. But Rebel Wilson's story isn't just about being in front of the camera. It's about building a business behind it too. She founded her own production company, Camp Sugar, to gain creative control and develop projects that aligned with her brand and values. Through producing, writing, and developing her own material, Wilson expanded her influence beyond acting, shaping narratives from concept to screen. She's also ventured into business in unexpected ways, from fashion collaborations to writing. Rebel Rising, her memoir, explores her life and lessons with honesty and humour, all of which reinforce her personal brand. Bold, relatable, and unapologetically real. Her influence also extends into social media entrepreneurship. With millions of followers across platforms, Wilson has built a direct-to-audience channel that amplifies her message, connects her with fans, and provides leverage for partnerships and projects. She's not just a performer, she's a digital brand in her own right. This strategic diversification, from acting and producing to writing and brand building, shows how Wilson understands the modern entertainment landscape. It's not enough to star in the story. Real influence comes from owning the story. One of the most powerful chapters of Rebel Wilson's influence story is her reinvention, and the way she's navigated major personal and professional shifts in the public eye. In 2020, she declared it her year of health and underwent a widely publicised lifestyle transformation, losing more than 70 pounds. But what made this chapter resonate wasn't the weight loss itself. It was the why behind it. Wilson spoke openly about self-care, longevity, and personal empowerment rather than appearance. It reframed the narrative around wellness in Hollywood and sparked conversations about health, agency, and self-definition. Wilson has also been candid about her experiences with fertility, body image, and navigating an industry that often undervalues women who don't fit traditional expectations. By sharing those stories, She turned vulnerability into influence, connecting with audiences on a deeper level and demonstrating how authenticity can drive brand strength. Her public coming out in 2022 and her engagement to fashion designer Ramona Agruma further underscored this authenticity. Wilson didn't just share her truth, she celebrated it. And in doing so, she became an influential voice for LGBTQ plus visibility and inclusivity, using her platform to normalize narratives that still face stigma in mainstream media. With reinvention often comes resistance, and Wilson's career has had its share of controversy. She's taken legal action against media outlets over defamation, challenging false narratives about her background. She's also faced criticism over jokes, casting choices, and her outspoken commentary on Hollywood's double standards. Yet each moment of friction has reinforced a key part of her influence: control of narrative. Rebel Wilson understands that influence isn't about avoiding criticism, it's about shaping the conversation. Whether it's speaking out against unfair press treatment or calling out industry biases, she's used controversy as an opportunity to deepen her brand's message. Be unapologetic, be authentic, and own your story. Rebel Wilson's story offers powerful lessons in influence for creatives, entrepreneurs, and leaders alike. First, authenticity is a differentiator. Wilson didn't become a global star by conforming. She did it by embracing who she was, and audiences responded. Second, vulnerability builds trust. By sharing her personal struggles and growth, she deepened her connection with audiences and expanded her platform. Third, diversification creates power. Acting was just the start. Producing, writing, entrepreneurship, and social influence turned her from a performer into a brand. Fourth, reinvention keeps you relevant. Wilson's willingness to evolve, physically, personally, professionally, has allowed her to stay at the forefront of cultural conversations. Fifth, controlling your narrative is key. From legal battles to public disclosures, Wilson shows that influence is strongest when you tell your own story before someone else does. Rebel Wilson is more than a comedian. She's a strategist, a storyteller, a brand architect, and a voice for authenticity in an industry that often rewards conformity. Her career proves that influence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being real. From comedy stages in Sydney to global box offices, from legal battles to cultural breakthroughs, Wilson's journey is a testament to the power of boldness, vulnerability, and self-belief. I'm Hannah Hally, and this was Icons of Influence. Until next time, own your story, embrace your truth, and remember, in a world obsessed with perfection, authenticity is your greatest power.